Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Reggie podcast. Today, we're going to talk about why are Americans deciding to live and work abroad. Now, before we get started, make sure you check out my website, ReggieRobinson.com, and sign up for my newsletter to stay up to date on all my latest content and some of the latest projects I'm working on. And also, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, share my videos, and leave some comments on my videos. Now, over the last several years, a lot of my friends and a lot of people that's in various business networking groups that I'm a part of has decided to liquidate all their assets, pack up, and move abroad and move into various different countries. And there's a number of reasons why they're deciding to do this. Better opportunities for their career, being closer to family members. Because I got a lot of friends and stuff like that that are second, third generation from various different countries, and they're starting to move back to the original country that their families were from. And they cite a lot of different things, the cost of health care, quality of life, things like that. Now, as you guys know, I like to show numbers and statistics and things like that on all my videos on when I'm discussing certain things. But this particular one is very hard to pinpoint and nail down accurate numbers because the way a lot of the numbers are done, a lot of the numbers include our military, government officials that's working abroad, and things like that. So it's very hard to come up and pinpoint an accurate number. But we'll hop over to the screen and kind of look at a few different numbers that's out there. Okay, this website here is the Association of American Residents Overseas. Okay, and this is about this report is talking about how Americans are moving abroad and living abroad. So as you see, the State Department is saying it's roughly about 9 million that's living abroad. But this organization estimates about 5.4 million living abroad. So it's real hard to, even here in this article, they state that it's hard to really come across these numbers right here, just because of the way the State Department put these numbers together. Because the military is included in a lot of these numbers, and we really can't count them because they're getting orders to go there. Now, granted, military folks, at various different times in their career, they'll have options to be able to pick overseas duty stations or whatever it may be. But for the vast majority, you're giving your orders, pack your seat bag, and you're rolling. So it's really not your option. So we really can't count those folks. So it's even right here, two contradictory U.S. estimates. These are the Department of State. They say 9 million. The Department of Defense Federal Voting Assistance Program says it's about 4.8 million. Okay? This got to include like all the DOD employees, diplomats, military, all that. So it's really hard. See, it's about 6 or 7 different estimates on this page. It's really hard. This one's 4.8, 5.1 to 9. So it's really hard to pinpoint a very, very accurate number. Okay? But let's look at some of the folks, by age groups that are deciding to work and live abroad. Now, this portion here, these are more likely retirees, okay? this group, chances are, these are strictly workers. But look at our young folk. From here to here, that's over 25% that's deciding to live and work abroad. Now this portion could be, a little off, going back to what I was saying about the military, because this age group right here, this is all military age folks right here. All right. Now, like I say, one of the main reasons why a lot of folks are deciding to leave is because of quality of life, cost of health care, things like that. Let's take a look at health care real quick. Okay, this is CEO World Magazine. Healthiest countries in 2024 around the world. Number 1, Singapore, Japan 2, South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, Norway, Iceland, Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands. Those are the top 10. Let's see where the U.S. is at. We got to go all the way down. All the way down to number 66. We rank number 66 on this list as far as being the healthiest countries in the world. Now keep in mind the cost that we pay for health care, the cost that these doctors are paying to go to school. America spend more money than any other country on the cost of health care. Okay, but we rank 66 on this list. Let's check out another list. This one, International Citizens Insurance. As you can see, the top 10 are pretty much the same ones from the previous list. They just may be in, shift different positions, but for the most part, it's exactly the same countries. And bam, U.S. number 69. Okay, number 69. We're not receiving the type of health care and the quality of health care that we should. We're not receiving the quality of health care in comparisons to the cost that we're paying for health care. And not to be disparaging or anything like that, but it's a known fact that, granted, we do have some of the brightest minds and some of the greatest doctors here in the world, but overall as a whole, us here in America receive some of the worst bedside treatment on the planet when it comes to health care. You go in to see your doctor, they come in for 5 minutes, write some stuff down, and roll out. Typically, it's the nurse practitioner that you're dealing with. The doctor, dip in, dip out. You know what I'm saying? They're not spending very much time there with you. They're not spending very much time there talking to you or anything like that. And that's one of the reasons why, personally, outside of my optometrist, I don't deal with any American born or trained doctors, for the simple fact that the quality of care is not there. The only way I allow a American born doctor to do anything with me is my eyeglasses, or if my sister, not my blood sister, but a very, very close friend, which is a very prominent doctor, unless she recommends that doctor. If she don't recommend that doctor, if they're American born, they're not gonna interact with me unless I'm being pulled into the emergency room or something like that. Outside of that, all my doctors are foreign born and foreign trained. And it's a stark difference between the treatment that I get. Once I did that, probably about 10 years ago, I can tell a huge difference in the bedside manner, the amount of time the doctors spend with you. Everything is just way better. It's just way better. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be universal across the board. You know what I'm saying? Healthcare should be universal across the board. Bedside manners and the way you treat patients, that should just be a universal thing. You treat them with the utmost care, concern, and you're not rushing them in and out. You see what I'm saying? Let's look at another list over here. Now, that's about healthcare. One of the very top reasons that a lot of close people that I know that have packed up and left is they just no longer feel safe here in America. And it doesn't matter who they are. They just don't feel safe here in America because with the way the American people act. Okay? So let's look at how safe America really is. This is an article from U.S. News. Okay, as we can see, Switzerland #1, Sweden, Canada, Finland, Denmark, all of these I agree with. I've been to several of these. Let's see where the good old U.S. is at. We're going to have to do some scrolling. And we're still rolling. Where is America? Number 46. America is number 46 on safety in the country. In the world, rather. Now let's put this in a little more perspective. Okay? Let's put this in a little bit more perspective. Let's scroll up a little bit. Because I seen something that was kind of interesting. Okay? Let me get to it here. South Korea ranks number 29 when it comes to safety in the world. South Korea shares a border with one of the most volatile, unpredictable, and dangerous countries in the world, North Korea. No one can disagree with me on that. And they are safer. They're 16, 17 spots above America when it comes to safety. In America, we're right here in the middle of nowhere by ourselves. We share borders with Mexico and Canada. And Canada ranks near the top. Number 3. The third safest country in the world. We share a border with them. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. We share a border with the number 3 safest country in the world. Our northern border. South Korea shares a border with one of the most dangerous countries in the world, if not the most dangerous. And they rank about 15, they're about 15, 16 spots higher than the U.S. when it comes to safety. So it's not the region. It's not the region. It's the people. Now let's look at this. This goes to show how safe America really is. We can look at our prison numbers. This per thousand. This is, okay. So America has 1.7 million people locked up. Okay? 1.7 million people locked up. Now let's look at India. They got 573,000 locked up. Okay? 573,000. Let's look at populations. India has 1.4 billion people living in their country. Okay? 1.4 billion living in their country. Us, we're at 300. We have 300 and I shouldn't have closed. I was going to talk about that later. We have 330 million people in our country. And look at the difference in the amount of people that's locked up. So look at, and this is part of what makes our country unsafe as well. We're the #1 users of illicit drugs in the world. In the world, we're the #1 in illicit drug usage. That's part of our safety. That affects our safety because we all know that once people that are addicted to substances, once they run out of money, they turn to crime. All the crime, all the shootings you see in these major cities is all related to illicit drugs. Sales, use, trafficking, all the things that's related to that. And America's #1. So that has something to do with it. That's why people are leaving, because of safety. And this is another reason why. Let's look at the way the American people act on a regular basis.
Have a look at the video here. This apparently happening during an 8th grade game in Fort Wayne. Officials say the parent went up to the ref after his kid's team lost. Players and coaches could be seen trying to separate the two of them.
And the kids are like,
let's look at this.
Santa Clara police responded to calls about this fight at 12:30 this morning. This happened at the In-N-Out Burger on Mission College Boulevard after last night's 49ers game at Levi Stadium. Witnesses.
Here's another one. Getting funky with each other at games. Fight. There we go. That fell out. At the football game. Push the man down the stairs. At the football game. Now, I really don't understand why Americans act like this over these professional sports. It used to be the football game, the baseball game. You know, you've been working hard all week and you got a little extra funds and stuff like that, and you take the family out to the game, get your peanuts, Cracker Jacks, you know what I'm saying, get your Dodger dog and stuff like that, and relax and have a great Sunday or Saturday at the baseball football game. But now sporting events are some of the most unsafe places to go because fans are in there, they're getting drunk. And if you happen to buy a ticket in the wrong section and wear the wrong jersey, the chances of you getting the brakes beat off you are really high. Now, Look at this. This is supposed to be America's happy place, Disneyland. And these are adults. Look at this. These are good old American people.
Well,
whipping ass and taking names. Started a float.
Poor dragon. Didn't make it.
This is the American people. What stress outside of waiting in line at Disneyland is there at Disneyland? I've taken my kids there a lot. Outside of the stress of waiting in line, that's the chillest place on the planet.
Yeah, went viral online and received negative responses from Bossier residents on social media. The establishment's regional manager, Matt Bean, provided a statement on the incident. He says,
Trampoline park. This is what we're showing our children. Kids soccer game. And we all remember this.
Chicken sandwich. Check out this Popeye's pandemonium. Another Popeye's in Maryland. Guy jumps over the counter and attacks the manager because they ran out of chicken. When this guy doesn't get his, he jumps through the drive-through window.
Oh my God.
This chicken craze is, well, crazy, man.
This is ridiculous. See, what it is, the American people, the people that I've talked to that are starting to leave, yeah, they have cited healthcare, the cost of healthcare, things like that. But out of each and every one of them, the number one reason why they decided to leave is that they're sick and tired of the way the American people act. The American people are has become some of the most unhinged, violent people on the planet. You can't go to the trampoline park and they're going fisticuffs at the trampoline park. So people are leaving America because of they're sick and tired of dealing with all this foolishness that our fellow citizens are putting on us. I travel outside the country a lot. I like to travel. I love to travel. And it's a shame when you go over to another country, you immediately feel like a big weight off your shoulder. Okay, you feel a huge weight off your shoulder. You're so relaxed. You feel good. You're carefree. But the moment I land back in the United States, I nearly have to go almost back to the mindset I used to have growing up in the hood in the west side of Chicago, where you have to be on point. You got to keep your head on that swivel. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't come back to your own country, your home country, and feel that way. I've never been anywhere outside of the country, and I've been to a lot of countries. I've never been to a country and received any form of disrespect, rudeness, or anything from the locals. Never at all. Never been talked to looked at like I was crazy, or I've never walked into a store or a market outside of the country and looked at, suspiciously or anything like that. Now, here in America, I can't say the same. Even places where you would think people wouldn't be very rude or nasty to other people. When I first joined the Marine Corps, my MOS school was in North Carolina. And a local town right outside the gate, everybody knows. chances are, if you see a young person, they're at one of the Marine Corps schools that's on the base. I received some of the worst treatment, attitudes, looks, you name it, right outside a military base, when everybody knows that everybody that's there are students on that base. And this town touts itself as we love our military and stuff like that, and support the military. And it wasn't race based, okay? Because I would be that out in different places with, with some of my white partners that's Marines, and they get the same damn treatment. So it wasn't racial mistreatment. It was just foul, nasty ass people in general. You see what I'm saying? Americans are tired of it. Americans that has the ability to do it, liquidate their crap, leave the country, or get a job outside of the country, or spend half of the year in the country, half of the year outside of the country. We're doing it just for the simple fact, and if people was to really truly take a poll, the vast majority is because they're sick and tired of the American people. Not racial. It's not a racial thing. And that is an element. But the majority, this is coming from my white friends. They can't stand the way the American people are acting right now. You can't go into a store, grocery store, anything, a gas station, without seeing or encountering some Kevin or Karen interjecting themselves into something that has nothing to do with them, spewing their nasty venom, and just being a nasty, ugly person. And that's what the American people are sick and tired of. We're tired of people trying to push their views on others. You know what I'm saying? This is how nasty the American people are. I go between California and Arizona, and one of my cars still has a California license plate on it. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard, and them not knowing a damn thing about me. My car has tint on it, so they can't actually see who's in the car. If I'm a black guy, or white guy, or male, female, they can't see that. But I have just the top crack. And you hear them, go back to California. I've never been heard. I've been to Japan. I've never heard someone in Okinawa yelling at another one, you go back to Tokyo. What sense does that make? Go back to California. When you don't even know this person's views or anything like that. And who in the hell are you to tell somebody to go back to somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Just because you have a political view, when you don't even know a person's political view, you see a license plate. It could be a rental car. It could be somebody that's from Arizona that happened to rent a car that has an Arizona license plate. And these idiots yell, go back to California, liberal. First off, I'm far from a damn liberal. You know what I'm saying? I don't claim no party. They both crap. So Americans has so much divide and so much against one another that those of us with good sense and that are fortunate enough to have the ability to do so, we're spending as much time away from the American people as we possibly can. And we are having a hell of a time doing it. We're having a great time doing it, because the American people here, the American people have become so unhappy, so divisive, on everything. Sports teams, religion, politics, you name it, Americans divided on it. Okay? And so, healthcare, things like that, all those various things, better job opportunities, those are a huge part of it. But the biggest part is that Americans has just become some of the most unbearable people on the planet. It is. If you don't believe me, as you moving around, look at the faces of the American people. Look at how unhappy, how angry, how upset, how rude the American people have become. You can't even go to a restaurant anymore and your hostess smile at you anymore. They sit your ass down over here and whatever. And God forbid they make a mistake on your meal, don't send it back. Don't send it back. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess around and order a medium rare and you end up getting a well done steak and ask for another one. You're gonna have a problem. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a problem. The American people has turned on one another. It's like we have no love or respect. The only time the American people so-called pull together, and it's fake, is if something happens. Something bad happens, they'll pull together, but it's usually the same ones. It's usually the same people that's out there taking care of their fellow citizens and stuff like that. And then you'll have your few that'll come in just because they want to put on their social media that they're some, to appear like they're out there helping when they're really not out there for the right reasons. They're just out there to, make themselves look good and try to get a couple clicks or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not healthcare, economy, or any of those things. It all circles right back to the way the American people act. The reason why America is so unsafe is because of the citizens. That the citizens has absolutely no problem with selling one another things that's gonna harm them. Illegal substances. The American people have no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But they do have a problem with doing something that's going to help everybody, like getting the illicit drugs out of the community, working on the violence, working on education, helping to build better role models. Last thing on the Americans' list, what Americans looking forward to now, they looking forward to going down to Disneyland and going fisticuffs. So it's the American people that's causing their fellow citizens to leave and not come back. Because 3/4 of those that I know out of the 25 people that decided to pack up and move, they have no ambitions on ever coming back again. And many of them has never came back. The ones that do come back, that I know, they just come back because they got businesses. They still got certain business that they got to conduct here. But as soon as they conduct their business, they gone. They dip in, then they roll right out. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. This country is too great. It has too much to offer. And it just has too many good things in this country to run its own citizens out of here. Here pretty soon, Americans gonna need more immigrants, because those that has the ability to leave we're shutting down our businesses, liquidating and rolling. And that's having an effect on the economy. That's having a huge effect on the economy. But I got one friend, he had 45, 50 employees. Revamped things, shut that business down, and hired nothing but virtual assistants. That's 45, 50 Americans that's out of work now. And it wasn't because that's what he wanted to do. It was because he was sick and tired of the BS here in America. So the way Americans are running their fellow citizens out of the country is having a bigger impact than what any government official will ever say. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Make sure you check out my website. I did a really good blog on this topic. So go over to the website. I'll put the link in the description. Check that blog out on the website. Make sure you like or dislike this video. Leave your comments. And subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support a brother, buy me a cup of coffee. The link will be down in the description. Until next time, check you out.